And we are in Quantum Burst, and it is the 12th of August already.
Amazing.
You can imagine that. So, Steve's on his way. Kate's got weather again. So, Kate, we know you're here with us. We're bringing you in, I'm sure. Yeah, anyway, here we are. So, check in. How are you? How's it been? What's up? Nancy, you've been to the beach, and Holly and Strider were here. So, why don't you jump in?
Oh, yeah, I'll make it quick. Oh my God, hang on a minute. Shh. I have a buddy over here that wants to check in first, I guess, if you can hear him. How can I say? It seems like forever since our last call. I mean, honestly.
It actually has been because I had to bump it.
Yeah, in the midst of all that, we did get some new windows, so
Yeah. So you weren't
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
that's
last call we had. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll brag about those. They're delightful. They're, when you wonder why you're spending money and then you look at them and go, oh, that's quite an improvement. That looks pretty sweet. So after that was done, yes, Holly and Strider came in on a Monday, and we were just going to be around here. We're going to go to the pool, just have an easy time. Tuesday, I started doing some research, and we looked at each other and I said, what the hell? Let's find a condo down on the beach. And there's this group that we go to. And because we looked at it Monday, because we waited till Tuesday, they had, some discount because, they're trying to move
last minute stuff.
A midweek stuff, every little bit helps. And we just made a decision, got our stuff ready, pulled out on Wednesday morning. Came back Friday, wasn't long, but they had been missing the beach, and that's their thrill. So it was fun to watch them have a good time in the water. I learned that I'm not ready for waves yet. When they're coming in pretty fast and pretty hardy, I don't quite have that steady foot. If I could get out to the one sandbar, I think I'd been okay, but it was unsteady. And I said, I think I better stick to pool and lakes for a while, They're a little easier to navigate. But we had a good time. We had some good conversation. We came back home. We played games one night with Steve, and Strider had a ball with us playing games. And I totally didn't remember that he liked that so much. And we played some new ones, and they just got tickled playing it. And I thought, oh my God, why don't we always do this? And it was fun to get away. I was able to relax enough. I had a lot of time to just kind of ponder stuff, and just be. And that was the good part about the last, whatever it's been, 2 or 3 weeks. So that's kind of me.
Well, glad you're here. Glad you got to the beach.
Yes.
Glad you found out that the ocean is not perfect before, glad you decided that on your own.
Well, I'm strong and I work out, but that's not the same as having a wave come and go whoosh.
No.
And here's the thing. I think if I could have just felt confident and if I could have got out deeper and been knocked over, I'd be fine. But when you're in closer, even though the wave knocks you over, you're hitting hard sand if you fall down. And there's just a little part of my body, hips and things that went, oh, fool, we aren't doing this.
We're not doing this. Yeah.
There's somebody behind you.
Let's wave at him, Linda.
Hi.
Your arms disappear.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
There we are.
Well, when they in the virtual
Eliza, can you send Steve the link in Gmail? In Gmail, do you mind?
No, I can do that.
He still can't find his phone, and that's where he has
that's where it
language.
is. Yeah, I will do that right now.
Sorry. Okay.
Invite, copy link. open email and send it to Stevie. So Linda, how are you? What's up? What's up in your world?
Well, I actually had something today that happens that's actually I found out about part of it yesterday, but a friend actually, so one of my friend's sister passed away, was killed in a car accident really suddenly.
Hmm.
So I was, so, that's just a surprise and sort of a little bit. But then today I was talking with this woman who is another pet sitter with us. And turns out that in the same car and also passed away was another pet sitter that was one of my friends. And that they were coming back from a retreat, driving down the road, ended up stopping, and somebody behind them didn't stop, and so pushed him into the intersection, and somebody else hit him in the intersection, and they both died.
Wow.
So so I'm feeling shaky. I just there's a I know they just got back, they were just finished a retreat, and this is a pretty amazing time to move on. So, I have to give them that. And it's just there's so much going on it's just sort of shook me up, has shaken me up a bit. And so, and there's that whole thing about I want to be friends. I want to support this other friend who, so part of what's interesting about this is, person I found out about yesterday's name is Cynthia. And Cynthia is this Rebecca. Rebecca is us. And Rebecca and Cynthia are sisters. And Rebecca is my housemate's best friend. So that's how I found out about it yesterday, because Rebecca told her that her sister was lost. Well, then when I was talking to this other pet sitter today, it turns out that in the car was this pet sitter that I know. So it was like this amazing experience of learning about two separate areas of my life, had people connected, closely connected, and just the whole small world kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, and my whole question is, how do I support somebody? I've just been wanting to call her, but knowing that she's sort of overwhelmed herself. And when I do call, I just got her voicemail, so I said a few things and told her I'm available if needed, but I don't know, just giving her space for now. But there's that whole, well, what do I do? Just keep sending her light.
Yeah. There's Steve.
Hi, Steve.
And sometimes it's just like a text that just says, "Hey, I'm thinking about you."
Yeah.
Will make the difference, because sometimes people don't want to talk to one more person.
Right. I
You
can
want to
appreciate
know that you're so, like, not having any agenda, but just saying, "I'm thinking about you. I'm sending you love."
Right. That's what I was thinking in a card, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it. And my the next part of my update is just about still looking for I'm doing pretty well once August gets through, but I don't have, I'm here until Sunday, and then I have 2 weeks with nothing. I don't have a place to go. I don't have any work. Good time to get out of town.
Yeah.
So there's part of me who wants to do that, but the other part's like, no, good time to focus on the storage unit. It's like a good time to. So I'm just asking the universe for guidance and direction on what's next and what's good for me to do and that kind of thing. And then once, I forget what the date is, once we get to September 11th, 12th, I have work and or house sitting job. I have a house sitting job for almost 3 weeks. One of my friends is going on this trip to Turkey. I mean, not to Turkey, they're going to Italy this year. So I get to stay at her house, and so that's a nice big length of time that I'll be fine. So I'm just still working that.
Yeah. For you, it just feels like such a practice of intentional surrender and surrender with intention that the next one shows up when you need it.
Yes, yes. It's a great word. I like putting those two words together, intention and surrender. It's exactly what it is.
All right, Steve, how are you doing? You had a couple of days to yourself. Is that good or bad? Or both? Or can you say? Maybe you can't say. You're still muted though. I can't hear you.
We can't hear you yet.
There you go.
How about now?
Yep.
Yay.
Good.
I'm sure I missed truly the people who were not here.
Yes, well, there is that, but that wasn't the question I asked. It was a good answer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all good, you know. I mean, where am I at? Has it been forever since we've been together, or what?
It has, because the last time we were together, you guys were doing Windows, so it's been a long time.
Mm. Let's see. I had medical procedures since then. I think I don't remember when all that was going on, but I'm actually doing pretty good right now. You know, I'm feeling strong, feeling mostly healthy. Got some things going on that I need resolving still, but those are things that are in process and working with. So that's the good news. Had a nice catch-up call with my daughter and kind of softly read the Riot Act, you know, where the message was gotten across, I think. But, what can I say?
Don't disappear for days on end or weeks.
Well, she could accuse me of that too. So we agreed that, that every conversation doesn't have to be planned 2 to 3 weeks in advance, and that I should drop a text. Or she said, really, I like text a lot. So I now know that if I want to text her and say, hey, I'm eating a hamburger right now, that would be the kind of thing that she'd be okay with. So now that the parameters are set, I can do more about what I need to do or want to do. Let's see. I have they get to turn radioactive a week from yesterday, going for something called a DAT scan to, I think I mentioned to this group that I had an initial diagnosis of Parkinson's.
Did you mention that? I don't think you mentioned that.
I mentioned that. I have an initial diagnosis of Parkinson's.
Wow.
And I don't have a lot of the debilitating symptoms, but my voice is less booming than it had been, and the balance is not always as great as it should be. And we finally got a neurologist appointment in July, and let's see. Well, I have a few simple diagnostic things that she did. I had me walk and hold my hands out and look at some things, and she said, well, initially I'm going to say you've got Parkinson's, but they want me to go for it's called a DAT scan, in which they do a map of your brain, and they look to see dopamine uptake and all that sort of thing. Parkinson's is essentially a shortage of dopamine in your brain. So I'm on meds for that, and I think feeling better. I really don't feel a lot of change, but then I think I had one person at pickleball tell me they thought I looked stronger, better, whatever. So and the person happened to be a person who had Parkinson's for 7 years. So We'll see how it goes. So pull a ladder on that as well. And I think that's all for right now.
Lots of places to zing up.
Yeah, right.
And you may or may not have heard Kate's in extreme weather again, and
Oh,
so just
wow.
zing up Kate. She was so excited to be here today, and then this thing came out of nowhere, apparently dumping on them. So, yeah, so here we are, and I guess my check-in. Um, so let's see. I don't know. It feels like it has been so much happening. I feel this is what it feels like. Felt like maybe November, December until about June. It was like nothing. Not that I didn't have things I was doing, but just like energetically just flat. And now it is not that. It is like making up for lost time. So my class I've been working on that you're all invited to is the webpage is up, the wait list is building. That will lead to the Sacred Playground, which is what I've been talking about for, it feels like decades, you know that, but it's not, I don't want to call it a group or a membership, but it's a portal of frequency and activations and, you know, the stuff we do. So that's moving. That's really cool. Uh, I'm back to Fort Worth 2 Sundays in a row starting this week. So Saturday I'm going to go. And so I'm going to be gone again. And that's so curious around here now. So we'll see how that goes. And then today Rob said, well, maybe I'll take a train down to Austin on that Thursday before you leave. I'm like, oh, well, that would be curious. So I don't know what he will or will not do, but I I'm in a good space. We had Danielle here. It was fun. It was great. It was exhausting. All those things are true. Just lots. Just it feels like lots, but it all feels good, and it feels like not overwhelming and not like things are moving, but not from a sense of urgency or not from a sense of making something happen. All that feels different than in the past. Although I would have told you for years, I don't want to make things happen, but I think I still have that something. So anyway, today on the global call, we were talking about sort of the 3 levels of consciousness. So we have like what we call the, 3D reality here, like where things are just rough in so many ways. And then we have this newer place, and we've been touching that newer place for a long time. So we touched that newer place, and that's where sort of the birth of new humanity and all that came from. But now what we're accessing is like the 3rd level, which is we are the field of the new. And then she tied it in this. I love this because somebody said this, probably Solera said this today. It's like the subconscious, where we're just reactive to whatever's happening, the conscious, which is that wanting to go to new, and then the superconscious, where it just all is. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what we're doing. So that was kind of really fun. And yeah, activating it, being all of that, all that is, like more and more from that place, more and more from that place. Like let's bring Kate's weather into that place. Let's bring Steve's diagnosis into that place. Let's bring Linda's housing into that place. Let's bring Nancy and Eliza into that place where we're not trying to deal with it at this level. I mean, it's sort of what a zing does, right? It just sort of just lifts. I mean, it's just so fast, but it's like from that place versus, well, let me create an affirmation that will help you, on this place. So just playing in those different awarenesses and playing the phrase, I've probably shared this because I've been playing this for a couple months, on the shimmering edge of my next becoming. like playing there, like just beyond what I can see. And I see it as a shimmering edge. So I keep going to this shimmering edge. And that's been a really fun place to play in. The other thing in that when we are being that field, when we are just being that newest new, that is like the language is still old, like oneness, but it's so much more than that. It's the frequency itself. It's the void that is full of infinite possibility. It's the place of really creating that we've never created before, that we've never had access to before. So all of that is really exciting to me, and it doesn't necessarily like translate into what we're seeing in so many of our daily lives. So really just trying to do this with all of it, right? Not to discount what's here and not to encourage people too quickly to go here, like hold the space for that, but not like you need to come here with me, not like that anymore. I think I've probably done a little bit of that in my lifetime. Come here with me. Steve nods. And Nancy's like, oh my gosh, yes. So what do you want to play in today? Should we just play in like really up leveling? Like when we say all is well and it is done, and the rest of it too. But when we say that, do we say that from the 3D reality? Do we say that from the place of the newer reality, or can we say it and feel it from this place of all that is? That's not a question to necessarily answer, but it's the question like, can we lift up our all is well, it is done in the bigger scheme so that it can then rain down on the minutia? I don't mean to say the stuff we're dealing with is minutia, but I did say it. So
Can I say something?
yeah.
Okay, just real quick, and it was kind of superficial and sharing, but I want to just do two things. Number one, we and Kate will appreciate this, where we don't see Strider all that often, and she is
Is she now? Is
she's a she this year, or she's a she, and I don't even know if Steve knows that because we didn't really talk about that. Is I have been really expressing some concern about safety and whatever. And I actually heard something from Tony, of all people, Tony Robbins, or somebody who said, it's okay to, be concerned. You care about people, you'll share the concern. But if you hold in mind that you have a fear of safety for someone, you're doing them such a disservice by putting that out toward them. I'm not going to say it quite right, but I realized that at the same time that I'm concerned, I'll say, well, I know that she was born for these times. Steve made a comment after they left and said, Steve, I won't have it verbatim, but what I heard or felt was that, well, Strider certainly seems pretty at ease, or just settled with what he is.
What she is.
Which she is. He just is it. I mean, he's not doing any equivocation or any maybe still. I think I'm the one that's still trying to understand it, but I was realizing what a disservice, whether it's he and a transgender issue, or it's she and a transgender, or somebody else in it, and whatever their story is about holding them in the vision that they want to be held, and learning. It's still learning a new language. And just real quick, Holly and I were getting ready to go somewhere, and or packing up, and I looked in her room, and the beds were, all in uproar. And she looked at me and she says, Mom, but at the time I was looking at it, I didn't care. She was her thing. She's going to have it under control. I didn't care. But she started to explain to me that, Mom, this is really not an issue. Don't worry about it. It's all under control. And for a second, we had to learn that we're both going through a new language time. We're talking about how to talk down here. And I said, I honestly, Holly, didn't look at it with any judgment. Yet when you started to explain to me why it was the way, I had a flashback that that's a trauma response. And her comment to me was, Mom, I thought you were a safe person to say that to because it wasn't trauma for me. I just wanted to share what was in my mind. And we're all being called, what I want to say, even called to task, to be aware of carrying old dichotomies with us as a new, even though I'm not sitting in a conscious judgment of it, the old stuff was, how do I want to say it? It was still woven into some of our fabric, and we were moving toward a new language, and we both realized we hadn't gotten there yet. So this up leveling is, so again, for me, it's about really, I don't know how to say it, embracing this new conversation technique. Maybe it's not words, I'm not sure, but I just needed to kind of spew that out. I appreciate you listening to that.
Yeah, so first I want to just say that Strider is completely safe inside this circle.
Yeah, yes.
As Strider is maybe ever evolving.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, gotcha.
And then the whole mother-daughter family, old patterns. It's like we can't hold ourselves. We hold ourselves to getting better, but we can't hold ourselves when we don't do better because we're, like you say, we're learning a language we've never learned before. And the way to learn that is to be in it.
Yeah. And the good news was to be safe enough that both could weave through the old and head out toward the new. She was doing it too.
Mhm.
And I was really impressed and awed by that.
Yeah. Our kids may grow up yet. That I don't mean that as a judgment, but I mean that more as like, I love it when they do something that's like, wow, that was impressive. Yeah. Other comments about moving, lifting our all is well up even higher.
So I was having an interesting thought coming through. We were talking about frequencies, and it was about zero frequency.
Mm.
Everything comes to a total stop. I mean, which seems almost inconceivable, but it was what I was seeing was like it's the point of maximum creation, maximum destruction. And there's nothing. It's not even that there's nothing. There's all potential in zero frequency. And I'm not sure why that came up, but it did. So
Yeah, interesting that. And what you said makes me think, who was it? It was Greg Braden or something like that. I don't know who it was. But did the 0 point like decades ago.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know if that's even the same thing or not, but it kind of feels like that like in order to, or whatever it is, however it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Whichever way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right, well, let's run our gems and see what shows up for us tonight. All is well, it is done. We lift up that higher and higher and higher so that it's landing in places we've never even considered before. All right, first one is Aventurine. Strengthens the central vertical axis, which stabilizes us during expansion experiences helps us move into and through new experiences with grace, stamina, and perseverance, good for spiritual trailblazers and pioneers. Second one is diamond. Brings clarity to the sixth chakra, harmonizes divine and personal will, helps us activate personal will in its highest form, strengthens our ability to act in alignment with divine purpose. Third one is Azurite. Grounding communication opens and strengthens the connection between the feminine earth forces and the fifth chakra. Helps us communicate with vitality, authenticity, and gentleness. Fourth one is Lapis Lazuli. Opens and clears channels of communication in the fifth chakra. Amplifies the ability to hear information from physical and non-physical sources. Clears confusion between hearing and knowing. And the last one is Citrine. Harmonizes the mental body with higher spiritual laws, increases access to divine truth and intelligence, amplifies qualities of concentration, centering, and rational mind. Comments?
What was that last word? Concentration, centering, and
Rational mind.
okay.
By the way, guys, 0 point is said to be the most powerful force in existence and is connected to all realities. It's the center of everything with portals to every possibility.
Oh my God, I love that. Oh, I just get this, just get this sense of like each of us has that 0 point within us, but then we as a collective have our 0 point. And the thing that feels is like the starburst effect of it, like every direction. Cool. Thank you for that. All right, anything else before we receive? All right, let's do it. We'll do our 6 minutes. So take a breath. And because we're talking about it, feel yourself as the 0 point of all that is as we lift ourselves and our world as high as we can go. High meaning that's relative, but as high, all is well, it is done. Whatever else you want to add. Here we go. Take a breath. Notice what you experienced. When you're ready, open your eyes. How was that?
Well, it was a little confusing for me. I just feel like I'm aware of this other level above, or a little further up. And I just had a really hard time getting there. It was like all my mental things and all of the I just found myself I kept feeling like I was bumping into things, you know, it was like, oh, you know, going there and then there's this, oh yeah, then there's this. And so, you know, once in a while there's that steadiness and quiet, but then, you know, the mind would start doing its thing again. And I like a bunch of balloons going up and bumping into things, you know.
Me too.
Here's I'll go. Um, sort of, as we mentioned, the 0 point right near the entrance of going into this time. That's where I went and talked about seeing various, you know, locations for it. And I was drawn to what I was simply thinking of or conceiving of as cosmic 0 point, which for me was just somewhere out. And I say out, but at the same time, I know it was more than out. It was out, it was in, it was around, and it was wherever it needed it to be. But I didn't experience it being anything. Like there wasn't something I pointed to and say, oh, there's a 0 point, which makes sense. But a little bit later, I came around to being in a field. Um, at first, it looked like shiny painted, shiny painted surface, you know, except that it was a field. And I was trying to imagine what sort of stone or crystal or whatever it might be. And when I put that thought in motion, it became field of diamonds. And you know, just there were so many. Just it was like being at the beach, where it's like a rock shoreline. You know, just walking on just thousands and thousands of diamonds. Yeah, not any harm to them, of course, but it just felt like super empowering to be walking on diamonds. You know,
Cool.
I didn't have anything closer to home. I was out in the cosmos and on a beach. Is it?
Thank you.
Well, I had gone into this and had glanced back at this 0 point I had pulled up and realized that this particular one refers to the game Fortnite. So it says it's a fictional object.
Oh, funny.
I don't know there's all kinds of other stuff out there, but it's like, which I think is absolutely fabulous because I don't know of a little boy in university, maybe girls too, haven't grown up on Fortnite. You know, so I love that this could be getting through to them on a different level. I was going into it and really I'm always captured by Citrine for some reason, it just always, in Aventurine, I like both of those a lot and I resonate with them. But I was in the field and I have the thought that comes through that says, oh, so much of your history has always been about aspiring to a next level, like there was an steps to take, a level, an action to do, like I'll beam, we want to beam into the light or we want, and I'm in the flow and I go, that is not how this works at all. You're never not in this energy. Now, I think your attention can be drawn down to the other levels because we do see what's going on, but you can see it. And this is interesting with a lot of what's happening in our country right now, is to say, seriously, everybody is really, I'm aware everybody's having a different experience. I would have said those words before, but I wouldn't have known that we're not all having the same experience. Um, and it never has been that way, but it's really, the collective is really, I feel, just really being flipped up in the air, or that's how it feels. And I thought, I'm always wondering how to meet people where they are and where I am, and just to be, and wow, this transition is going on, because to me, that's my biggest moment, is to just to know how to navigate without, wait a minute, what's Citrine say? It's access to the divine. Adventuring is a spiritual trailblazer. There must be some autopilot in there somewhere that's running that, because there's no way that I can hold in mind doing that. So whatever this level is, there must be a new auto system. At least I'm kind of counting on that. So
And maybe just by doing this, that we are trailblazing, like just by our beingness, like,
yeah,
I don't know. For me, I was feeling that sort of things turning in on themselves. Sort of, it was like, not like, I used to get like the rock tumbler a lot. But it was more like a slow and graceful dance. But I was also feeling the portals or the doorways or the beingness. But it wasn't from a place of, we have to go do something. It was much more in every time so this is not so much what I got, but this is what's coming through now. It's like the more that we be in our beingness, the more that we're actually accessing 0 point and a new state of consciousness. And there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. We don't have to go heal our old stuff anymore. We don't have to create our dreams anymore. We don't have to, because it's all in whatever the next thing shows up. Whether it's a house or a game or a kid or a stranger, it's just like we are already being it. And the more that we be it, the more that it happens. There's still nothing to do. It just comes from this place of being. And that landed in, because like you said, Nancy, I've said those words for decades. I've said those words, but it's landing different. It feels different. Yeah. All right, let's just do a minute 20 and see what what else wants to show itself to us, so that we can end in a timely manner tonight. All right. Wherever you were, wherever you are, whatever the conversation activated in you, here we go again. Take a breath. Notice what you noticed. How was that?
I didn't get anything in particular. I was struck by remembrance of the origin of my email address, which
Oh,
is
Postgate.
Postgate. If you remember, I think I've told you this before, but it derived from a white stone ceremony in which the word possibilities came through. And I had this imagining of this device, much like Stargate, if you ever saw that
Yeah.
series, but except you didn't set a destination, you walked into it, and whatever it was that was going on with you, out on the other side, you came to a new possibility. And I don't know how you ever got back to where you were, but anyway, I was zooming through various possibilities.
Cool. That actually sounds like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, am I off?
You're on, Nancy, but I think Linda was going to go.
Yeah, please.
I was trying to remember how to say this. Is the place that I was going is this place about this awareness of all that is. It's all that is. And it was vibrant and it was beautiful. It was like beautiful lights and well, so I have to skip to at the end. So near the end here, I've had this incredible hot flash. It's like I'm just sitting here sweaty, and so I'm sure they're integrated somehow, but it's uncomfortable. Might be the heat in here, but I bet it has something to do with something else too.
It looks hot there at the pool, but
Yeah.
could be that. Thanks, Nancy.
I felt like went back to the space that I'd been in, but that I'm going to say it out loud just to let it dissipate, or because I could feel at one point where I could feel like my ego wanted to come in and give words to the experience, and I went, oh, there, aren't you cute? There you are. But I was looking, and it's like I felt like I could see all the levels. I felt it's not like you don't see what feel what somebody else's experience is. It's just that, and you can have empathy and connect, but and it's so weird because you're not there. And one of the words on one of the I think it's Azurite was authenticity, and I thought, oh, let's take that word in this time. And how does that feel? And I think the little ego part that came up and said, remember when you kind of started all of this spiritual journey eons ago? And your minister would talk about spiritual bypass. And I go, And just for, and I might have judged somebody who was talking like I feel like I'm experiencing it today as, are they just flipping to a whatever? And now realizing that, yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. And there was nothing I needed to say to them to self-correct that they couldn't see what was going on. But I'm going to leave one part. It came through. I was listening to Kate Goldfinch today, who's back from the hysterical bus trip with her kids and no air conditioning and all kinds of stuff. And today she had where somebody had asked her, with all this heavy work that you're doing with immigration to help people and make people aware the system isn't what is being shown favorably. There are flaws and there are problems and people are paying the price of it that you shouldn't be. And they said, how can you go off and have fun with your family? How can you do that? And she said it was so clear. She said, you know what? Joy is like it's my form of resistance. And if you go listen to it, she'll say it better than I do. She said, I think joy is a form of resistance. And it's just because I refuse to, I will do all I can here, but I'm not giving in to a different storyline other than the one I choose to live. And I can do this from a joyful heart and a full heart and a deep and a broad and a wisdom. And I thought that helped me today when because I love hearing it. So I'm not doing well with words today, but you get it.
We get it. We're in a place where words don't work that well anyway. And for me, I kind of almost had this sense of this giggle that was like, we're working so hard, you already got it. Like it's already all is well, it is done. Like it's okay. Like this, there was this real sort of cosmic giggly about being where we are and still thinking we have to work so hard. Right. That was the part that was like, if you want to, you can, but you don't have to. So it was sweet. All right, we're past time. I want to respect our time. Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to see you. And 2 weeks from tonight, we're back on track, at least for today. All right, Zhang you, Kate. Hopefully you're all safe and dry and
Bye, Kate.
passed and all that stuff. Steve, all the best. Just seeing you with no reaction to any term anybody gives you. And you do look stronger and healthier and more solid. So, yeah.
Yeah, you think so too.
Yeah. All right. Love you all.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good afternoon.